There he goes telling Canadians they've never had it so good when after 8 years he's not worth the cost of food. According to the hunger count by the Food Banks Canada, I quote, the number of people living in households struggling to afford food due to a lack of money have increased to the highest level on record, end quote. A record-smashing 2 million visits to Canadian food banks in a month. And his plan is to quadruple the carbon tax on the farmers and the truckers who bring us our food. How many Canadians have to go hungry or homeless before he axes this terrible tax?
We know Canadians struggling with the costs of food and groceries and housing. That's why we continue to step up to support them with measures like a $10 a day childcare, dental care for children, and child benefit checks, all measures that the Conservative Party has stood against, Mr. Speaker. We will continue to help Canadians. We'll continue our work to lift hundreds of thousands of kids out of poverty, to lift over 1 million Canadians out of poverty. But there's much more to do. We will keep doing it instead of giving in to the Conservatives' demands for more cuts, for cuts to services for Canadians, to cuts to supports that people rely on.
Actually, Canadians are making cuts to their food. They're cutting back on their standard of living after 8 years of this Prime Minister who's not worth the cost. Back to that nightmarish report from Food Banks Canada, one Nova Scotian reported to researchers, quote, seniors are having trouble with home heating and many times have to choose between food and heating. And with heating bills coming up again soon and a cold winter expected, Nova Scotians will have to pay his carbon tax, which he plans to quadruple. How many Nova Scotia seniors will have to go homeless or hungry in order to pay his massive carbon tax hike?